Kind of loud. Okay.
終焉のビルシュエラーサルベーション
Hello, hello, hello. Facing the wrong direction. Maybe I was facing the right one, I don't know. Let's try here. Okay. I guess it fits if I talk loudly. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. A little audio test. I love the opening. I know it's played so much, but I still like it. Hello, Genji. Good to see ya. How you doing? Alright, so I haven't said it yet, but hello everyone, I'm Boxcat. Today we're playing Virche Evermore Era of Salvation. We're currently on the Lost Salutes route, I think I'm saying it right, with Adolphe and Ankou. As I said in title, Adolphe is still green flag for now, and Ankou is actually just a child. I've been good, thank you.
終焉のビルシュエラーサルベーショ
Well,
ン
decent, but like... But for the most part, I've been pretty good. Got a pet sitting job coming up. Gonna be taking care of my aunt's dog for like a week. I might need to turn this up more. Or maybe just like here. Alright, I think that's up. Give it a shot. Alright. Yeah. I am a little nervous. Because any pet sitting jobs I've done so far have been at the person's house. This one will be, she'll be bringing her dog here. But I'm sure it'll go fine. It was kind of funny. It was we have a neighbor with the same name as my aunt. So, and just like a month ago, the neighbor's dog had bit her finger, and like literally a hospital ambulance had come to their house right across the street. And I thought it went through my mother, so I thought the neighbor called my mom and was like, "Hey, can your daughter take care of my dog?" And I'm like, "Is this the same dog that bit her finger?" But no, it's a different it's my aunt's, with the same name. So I'm like, okay, now I feel a little more comfortable.
終焉のビルシュエラーサルベーション
So I'm not sure I want to take care of a dog that had previously, not long ago, bit off their Ono's finger. Or almost bit off their Ono's finger. From what I hear, it was pretty bad. Like, literally, there was a little ambulance that had, come to their house. I happened to be upstairs, so I saw like the ambulance pull up and a whole bunch of people come out, and a bunch of people come out from the house, and like what the heck is going on? Because I need money.
終焉のビルシュエラーサルベーション
And you know, as long as I stay, like, if it was that dog, as long as I stay a decent away and be very wary, I should be fine. And that's if that was that dog. Yeah, I figure it out. I'll wear gloves. Yeah, this is my aunt's dog. I think her name is Murphy. Yeah, my aunt's planning to go visit my grandparents down in Florida, so she can't leave her new dog alone, but and we're kind of like the halfway points. So I guess her idea is that, you know, she'll drive up with her dog, stay here for like a night or two, leave the dog here with me, and drive the rest of the way to Florida. And then stay there for like a week to check on my grandparents, and then come back. Apparently that's the plan. But my aunt is also a little flaky, so things could change at any time. But for the moment, this is how it's going. So yeah, that's what's been going on here.
終焉のビルシュエラーサルベーション
Turn up a little more, maybe? Am I turning up or down? Hello? Oh, I was turning down. Okay. I knew something was odd. So if that does happen, that'll be nice. Fun. I am a tiny bit worried. Mainly about the cats. Because her dog is a small dog. I can totally see my my ragdoll cat batting the dog on the nose. Because he would do that. Our Maine Coon would probably leave it alone. He probably wouldn't care very much. And our actual dog is old, so she doesn't give a hat. No, I can't, because the whole reason she's leaving the dog for me is because she can't afford a dog sitter. Because she's poor. I am being paid, though. Just not like a ton, but I mean, it's still money. So that's what's going on in my little world here. Might need a refill this at some point. I'll sip it later. But I'll do that when it happens. Okay. So I believe we are on Act 3. No, Chapter 2, sorry. Act 3 is the Chapter 2, so we probably have like 4, 5 chapters in total. That's... oh, there we go. Or maybe just 3, actually, because a lot of these others end at 3. So we might actually be pretty close. In total, yeah. I haven't really had any issues with Twitch. I already knew discoverability was an issue, so... Hello, Choco. Hear me? Play it again. I turned on the desktop audio. Here we go. That way. I usually have the desktop audio off because I noticed last time it actually made a like echoey sound. Although I'm not sure I'm hearing it now. So maybe it's only happening when I'm actually using... when I'm not using the Switch. So I'll leave it on for now and just tell me if you hear any like echo type things. Otherwise, I'll just leave it on when I do the switch. But I'm loving Adolphe and Ankou. Okay, no echo. All right, sweet. Echo. Adolphe's like such a sweet guy. He's such a like I kind of want a brother because of him. And then there's Ankou, who's actually at first he's kind of like scary, but then he's just going around Adolphe's place, looking at everything, digging through everything, going from one place to another, like some ADHD child. Not a little one, a big one. Little brother sounds like a pain. But an older one is generally protective. Or at least has some traits of being protective. At least that's how I see it. Eeh. That's gonna be tough. I'm kind of glad I don't have any little siblings. Though at the same time, a little sister might be cool, but I mean, it could also be frustrating. Who knows? I should turn on ads, but I feel like I'd lose more people than gain. I mean, I hardly get any people as it is, so there's no one to get ads from. So if I did turn on ads now, I feel like any people who actually come by would leave during the ads. So I feel like turning on ads will be a disadvantage to me. Yeah, a lot of people hate ads. A lot of people will leave if ads happen. They'll leave to go watch something else with no guarantee of coming back. So yeah, no ads for me. Yeah. I can put myself in the mind of the viewer. That's why Netflix and like or I guess not Netflix, but like what do you call them? Because they're so common nowadays, I don't know what to call them. Just streaming services, I guess. Things that aren't regular commercials. On TV. Like, we used to have this thing called like was it called Fios? Like, you could record shows and then watch them without ads. The beginning of the age. But yeah, quite recently, if you want to go without ads, you gotta pay a subscription of some kind. It's quite annoying. In some places even had ads that are like ridiculously long. Yeah, the only streaming service I pay for, I share my Netflix with my parents. Because we have the family thing or whatever. So if I watch Netflix, I use that. But the only thing I personally pay for myself is Crunchyroll, which they actually blended in with Funimation recently, which I'm actually kind of happy about. I know a lot of people aren't happy about it, but I am, because I had some shows I was watching that were only on Funimation, like quite a while ago, and if I wanted to like watch the newest episodes of them, the reason I like forgot about them was because I would have to pay a subscription, an additional subscription, and I didn't want to do that. So now I, instead of having to pay 2 subscriptions, which I would have had to, I only have to pay 1. The live action RP? Earlier today I was watching a review on the live action Avatar that recently came out. And it's like, you know, proving once again that people don't know how to do live action well. Like, apparently they literally just dropped all of the character developments. And like, I'm happy I hadn't watched that yet. Because I like Avatar. Yeah, the animated show was so much better. Like, just the thought that they dropped, like, character developments, just makes me sad, because then it's just mindless action. And I guess drama, maybe? But, I mean, it's like... I mean, it's like there's no reason to it. It loses so much of its original... of what it had. Yeah, from what I saw on the review, I didn't see a lot of evidence of sarcasm either, so I'm like, where are thought of funny bits? Too serious. Like, they related it to a wannabe Game of Thrones or something. So I'm like, ugh. I'll take their word for it. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's totally possible to do, like, a good live action, and One Piece has proven that. So it's not like it's impossible. It's just, people don't know how to do it. Or they don't put the effort in. Like, who are these people who are directing this? If you're gonna do a recreation of something, I want you to put in the effort to match it to the original source material, like the emotion, the feel, the characters. And not just, like, focus on the action. Or whatever, like, it's like, why? And it's especially more disappointing since there was a previous Avatar live action that also failed drastically. So 2 failures in a row. You were supposed to be better. So yeah, that's a bit disappointing to hear. I was also watching some video on Benichi's Sanjay contract, and I'm like, that entire thing is shit. The entire contract is complete shit and illegal in America. These poor people. Why did you sign this? The only thing they get from this is literally clout. They have no promise of actually earning money. If they do earn money, there's a possibility of all that money being taken away from, like, fees and fines and, like, all these loopholes that could allow the company to take all the money they earned. And add fines to make them pay more. So it's like, what? The only thing they're gaining from this is just fans. And when you leave, no guarantee the fans will follow. A bunch of them probably will, but not all of them. And you can't use anything from your past life in the company, so it's like, all the effort you put to, all the projects, all the things that became successful, no longer yours once you leave. You can never say you own them, or had them done, or... it's shit. Yeah, One Piece was goofy like the anime and serious. It was serious in the right parts, but it also had the original, like, lighthearted feel. Yeah, Avatar was flat and preachy. I'm pretty sure, I'm actually 100% sure it is because they had Oda look over everything. Because he was very in on the creation of the show. We need more of that. Like, I admire how, like, how a part of the show creation he was. I think that's what a creator of like the original should do, to ensure that their show or graphic novel or whatever it is, you know, getting what it deserves. Netflix isn't pulling shit. But yeah. So I've been watching about those things today. And, like, I guess the past couple days, really. If we're gonna be technical. It's 120 million. I mean, the effects from what I saw were pretty good, but I mean, that can only take you so far. But no guarantee they wouldn't have fucked up that other animated show either. As I am now of the belief that if the original creator isn't part of the process, it's being adopted by Netflix, it will go horribly wrong. It will not get what it deserves. Like, sometimes I feel like Netflix slaps a bunch of things together and just hopes for the best. Yeah, that's my little rant about that. Things become crazy. Right.
散々振り回されてきたから嫌でも察しただけだ。
Right. I only knew what he was gonna say after everything he's done already. We'll figure out what he means by that. Okay, yeah, we just came back to them, I think. I'm still gonna complain about the damn fireplace bed. I will always complain about that. For Adolphe sleeping in the bed with his knees curled up because it's not big enough for him. Why is the fireplace that big even? What's the point? Alright. They really did seem to get along.
その前にもう一度確認するが、呪いの元凶はリコリス・ノワージュではない。それは確かなんだな。
Just confirm, you're sure the Lycoris Neoches aren't the source of the curse. Yves and the Lycoris Neoches, and Ankou's relationship with Yves' family. Adolphe asked his question to make sure of the promise Ankou made with Yves' family long ago.
ああ、何度問うてくれても構わないよ。
Yes, and you can ask as many times as you want. Are you sure about that? Hearing that Ankou's reply wasn't disrupted, Adolphe seemed to relax a little bit. More surprising was that despite his initial dismay, Adolphe wasn't opposed to Ankou's proposal. I forget what's happening here. As for me, I was stunned by the idea that anyone would think of breaking into the heart of the country. Oh yeah! We're planning on breaking into the World Library to get the information for the origins of the country, so we can figure out how to break the curse and save the people. That's gonna go well.
慎重が過ぎる君のことだから猛反対するかと思っていたよ。
I assumed you would vehemently fight my proposal, considering how careful you are.
当たり前だ。王族の懐に侵入するなんて捕まれば罰どころか即極刑だろうからな。
Right. I'd gladly fight you, especially since getting caught means an instant death sentence. Most definitely, yeah.
ではなぜ
Then why?
俺だってこいつに普通の人間としての幸福をつかませたい。
No. I wanted to live a happy life like any normal person.
それを叶えるためならどんな危険にだって挑んでやる。
I'm willing to take any risk to make that happen. He's gonna die again, isn't he? Adolphe. I hate hearing myself, so I'm gonna change over to my headphones. And exit out of the stream. Alright. He gently rested his hand on my head and began to rub my hair. Aw, he's cute. He has such like a sweet little face, such like a sweet expression. His gentle touch softened my resolve, which was still trying to grasp at reality. I'm laughing at my own joke that I remember. The Church of Scientology. Because, like, right there, you see, like, a stained glass, like you would usually see at a church. And, you know, parts of it have kind of a similar, like, structure as a church, at least the middle parts. Or like a cathedral or something. And Cyan stays here, so... And he's seen as, like, the god of the country, so the Church of Scientology. We praise our Lord and Savior, Cyan. We give him bread. That's where all the bread comes from. That's where all the bread comes from. His worship horse. I've discovered it. I solved the mystery. But the wall we need to overcome couldn't be climbed on resolve alone. The castle of the royal family was connected to the institutes. We needed to figure out how to sneak past the institute's security, as well as the royal guard.
アンク、お前の不可思議な術とやらで俺たちの気配を消すことはできないのか？
Ankou, do you have any kind of special power that can hide us? Does he? I mean, I know he has powers of some sort. I feel like he might not have anything that convenient. But I don't know. When he disappeared from the Lycoris field, he used smoke in a storm of flowers. So maybe if you can...
残念ながら人の世に合わせて形を取るため力の大半は冥界に置いてきてしまってね。
Unfortunately, by manifesting myself in the appearance of mortals, most of my powers were left deep within Hades.
自分だけならばまだしも他人姫君たちの姿を隠すのはいささか骨が折れる。
I can manage to cloak my own presence, but I doubt it can sufficiently provide cover for others, dear princess.
要するに役立たずということか。
He's not completely useless. I'm sure he can do something to help. At worst case, we can use him as a distraction.
有事の際彼女の盾ぐらいにはなれるがね。仮にかばった
Or
ら
a shield.
一撃で死んでしまう貧弱などこかの誰かとは違って。
I can at least be her shield when needed. Unlike some weakling who would easily perish from a single blow, because yeah, remember he's immortal. I completely forgot. I can't rely on Ankou to fulfill the contract on my own. So we'll figure out some other way. Seeing Adolphe's eyes darken, I hurriedly did my best to change the subject. I was thinking, maybe we could at least get through the Institute if we're able to make up a good reason. But from there to the castle was the real problem. We'll have to somehow get past the Institute's security and the Royal Guard. I think we should ask Donut for help. I think he would help us. I mean, he has authority. Maybe not in the Royal Castle, but at least in the Institutes. And so does Zion. We could probably convince him to help us. And the Royal Guards we can just, like, beat up. They're not that tough. Use violence. The three of us sighed wearily.
ひとまず研究所の周囲を軽く探ってみるか。中を通らなくても城に侵入できる他のルートが見つかるかもしれない。
For the time being, let's scout the area around the institutes. We might be able to find another route into the castle. Later that night, leaving Ankou behind, The two of us went to the institute to explore the area. We gazed out at the facility from a distance to avoid suspicion from the guards.
うっすらと明かりがついているな。ここの連中はこんな夜中でも研究してるのか。
You're always working. There's still some lights on. I guess researchers are still working this late. The Reliver waiting lists must be pretty long. Maybe the researchers have to work around the clock. Pretty much.
眠らない施設ってことか。ますます侵入するには厄介だな。
Donuts. Ask donuts. A facility that never sleeps. That makes things harder for us. We took a walk and scoped out the area, hoping to find an alternate route, but
塀や城の壁に穴の一つも開いてればと思ったが、そう都合よくはいかないか。
that would be too convenient. We don't have that much luck. I was hoping there'd be something like a hole in the wall that we could get through, but I guess that was too optimistic. Then, that means we'll have to go through the institutes, right? Adolphe nodded in agreement. But even if we tried to get in by submitting applications to become Relivers, it was unlikely they would let us roam freely.
最低一人は研究上自由に行き来できる協力者が必要だな。
Donuts. We're gonna need at least one person working inside the institute to help us get through. As Adolphe and I pondered on what to do,
貴様らこんなところで何をしてい
we're
る
just taking a walk around the area. Nothing suspicious here. Hi, you. What are you two doing here? Shit, run. One of the brownie guards standing at the institute gates came toward us with long strides. We had stood sufficiently far away to avoid suspicion, but it didn't take long for me to realize how they spotted us so easily. I'm sorry, Adolphe. I think it's because of my hair. The street lamps must have reflected the gold in my hair.
そうか。だがまあ、まだ何もやましいことなんてしてねえんだ。変に構えず、堂々としてろ。
I see. But it's not like we've done anything wrong. Just stay calm and everything will be fine. Okay. After our whispering, the guard came walking in front of Adolphe, then looked down at me.
一般人がこんな夜間になぜこんな場所を徘徊している
What excuse would you give? I just say I was taking a walk. Or that I was coming to admire the building. Now why would two commoners be wandering around here at nights?
息抜きがてらの散歩だ。
We were just taking a walk, that's all. Yeah. See, he gets it. We're on the same wavelength. Adolphe replied without any fear whatsoever.
クーネの一般人がわざわざセルネボルまでか
So commoners from Coing strolled all the way to Cernaval, eh? How do they know we're from Coing? unless they know who we are.
近いうちにリライバーになる予定がある。当日現場になる研究所をなんとなく見に来たくなった。
Oh, yeah. I'm planning on becoming a real liver soon, so I wanted to come out here and look at the institutes. Based on Adolphe's age and the fact that he didn't have a reliver mark on his skin, the guards seemed to be convinced.
ではそちらの娘は見たところまだリライバー化の適正年齢ではないだろう。
And what about her? She doesn't look old enough to become a reliver yet. We're his sister. We are his sister. Not by blood, but we're his sister. It's not odd for a sibling to follow their older sibling around. At least I don't think so. Huh? Oh, well... But just in case I'm wrong... Let's save. I think I was wrong. I'm his sister. I wanted to walk out here with him to make sure he was okay.
それにしては全く似ていないが。
You two sure don't look alike. We're not siblings by blood, but...
保護されていた施設が同じなんだ。
we come from the same orphanage. And I consider him my real brother. The guards seemed to be convinced that we were telling the truth by how smoothly our responses were connected. I mean, it is true. It is true.
「疑ってすまないな。最近あらゆる区域で物騒な事件が起きているものだから、研究所の警備も厳重になっているんだ。
Sorry for doubting you. With all the recent unrest, security standards have been tightened here at the Institute. I'm sorry. We should have taken a walk elsewhere. I probably would have answered like, sorry, I should have thought of that in advance. But yes, as long as they're accepting the excuse. It was obvious that the unrest he referred to were deaths that had been occurring and Cohen and Cheddars. The Institute guards were already diligent to begin with, but if security was even tighter, getting inside now was probably impossible. Not wanting my disappointment to show on my face, I lightly tugged Adolphe's clothes. We shouldn't keep bothering him while he's working. Maybe we should go back home, Adolphe.
Ah.
Yeah. Just as we were about to leave, we heard a familiar sound from the guard's pockets.
はい、こちら正門。はあ？かしこまりました。すぐに案内いたします。
What's happening? Yes, this is the front gate speaking. Huh? What? Understood. I'll lead them in.
おい、待て、そこの二人。
Hey, wait, you two. Oh, us. Okay, I thought... Oh, okay. Huh? Yeah, I'm confused
話は
too.
終わったんじゃないのか。
I thought we were done here. When Adolphe and I were stopped, We both turned around to hear a familiar voice coming from the guard's transmitter. It's either one or two people. Ah, yes! It's our boy!
セレスさんとアドルフさんですよね。
I knew we could count on him. He is best side character. Yeah, I thought I recognized that voice. Ceres and Adolphe, right?
同じ日に2回も会えるなんて嬉しいです。これから僕
I'm
休
still
憩なん
waiting
で、
for my theory to
よ
be
かった
proven.
ら深夜のお
Because
茶
it
会でも
hasn't
し
been
ませんか？
disproven. It hasn't been completely disproven yet. There's still a slight possibility I'm correct in that he's actually Salome's son. And that Salome is actually, like, I don't know, sister to Scion or something, making him his nephew. Or at least the part where he's her son, who is apparently dead. But it's not uncommon for characters to be thought of as dead and still be alive. So, there is still the possibility I am correct in that. And I hope I am. Anyway. I can't believe I'm seeing you twice in one day. I'm going to be taking a break, so how about we have a midnight tea party? I like that idea. Because a tea party means little tea snacks, and little cakes or cookies. Or, I don't know, some little treats. So I like the idea of tea parties. Never been to one, but I like the idea. Actually, that's a lie. I believe my, what was it? Like my great aunts or something? Or like my grandmother's sister? Had threw a little tea party for me and my sister when we were young. Because at some point, one of my family members taught me to drink tea with my pinky up. So yeah, I guess that's a lie. But none that I remember clearly. The night sky darkened. Reach stopped short of the country's guiding star, toward which Donut's innocent voice happily beckoned us.
ようこそリライバーを生産するこの国唯一無二の機関へ。
I hope nothing bad ever happens to this kid. Whether he's technically not a kid. Just in the body of one. Welcome to the only facility in the country that produces relivers.
お二人はまだうちの設備を見たことないですよね。なので特別に見学させてあげちゃいます。どうぞ遠慮せずにくつろいじゃってください。
You two haven't seen the inside before, have you? Well, follow me and I'll show you around. Relax and enjoy the tour. He issued us passes right away and led us to one of the Reliver laboratories. As I looked around in awe, Donut set down a plate of cookies on top of an important device without a second thought. Thank you for inviting us in. But how did you know we were here? Security cameras.
それはほら正門に設置されてる防犯システムから流れてくる映像に
Yep,
お二人がちらっと映ってたので
I caught a glimpse of you two in the video feed from the security system installed at the main gate. A strange panel of light appeared with a snap on his fingers and displayed the scene outside the facility. That's amazing. It's like magic. Was everything here created through science and technology?
ふっふん。もちろんです。研究所の端から端まで。
That is actually pretty impressive. It all looks very, very high tech. Of course. Everything you see here inside this room
所長こと神に愛された天才シアン・ブロフィワーズさんが
was
自ら
created
の
by
手
our
で
Lord
生み
and
出した
Savior,
技術ですとも。
the genius Cyan Brofeyes. Our Lord and Savior. Praise Cyan.
けどあいにくそのシアンさんは長らく不在でして戻ってきてればお二人にも紹介できたんですけどね。
investigates. But unfortunately, Cyan's been out for some time now. If he were around, I would have been happy to introduce you. Donut's oversized white lab coat swayed on his shoulders slumped, as his shoulders slumped. He looked so young when we met him at the hospital, but now, seeing him in his lab coats, manipulating unknown technology with ease, was a sight to behold. It was more than enough proof that he was a respected scientist with the power to control life itself. He went on to explain what a server was and how relivers were created, as well as other processes involved, as he showed us around.
それでお二人とも一体何をしにこの研究所へ？
Now then, what brought you to the Institute anyway?
ただの散歩だとさっき説明しただろ。
Just taking a walk, like we said earlier.
あはは嫌ですね。
Yeah, he's not taking that. Oh, please.
まるで泥棒みたいに研究所の周囲をこそこそ回るのが一般的なお散歩なんですか？
He's not stupid. He knows we're up to something. He knows how to keep his mouth shut. You call that taking a walk? Sneaking around like a pair of burglars? He snapped his fingers again. Being called out. Suddenly, images surrounded us on all sides. Each of them showed Adolphe and me looking around the institutes and staring up at the castle. He was watching the whole time? We obviously weren't vigilant enough, since we didn't expect such a surveillance system ever existed. Adolphe's eyes went sharp. He then moved in front of me to protect me from the young, smiling man. But Donut didn't budge a bit, even with Adolphe glaring at him.
そう警戒しないでくださいってば。ナディアの大事なお友達を捕まえたりしませんよ。
Now, no need to be alarmed. I would never arrest Nadia's friends, you know?
この研究所に忍び込もうだなんて大胆なことを考える人、久しぶりに見たので、理由が気になっただけです。
It's been a while since I've seen someone bold enough to break into the Institute. I was just curious as to why.
お二人の性格や立場を考えるに、ここの研究成果が欲しいわけではないですよね。
I assume that based on who you are and what you're like, you're not after our research, right? Well, did say he wouldn't arrest us, but he was still the deputy director. All it would take was one call to the guards to have us detained as criminals.
これは下手にごまかす方が危険だな。
Trying to hide it would just make matters worse. Adolphe gave a sigh of compliance, then slowly lowered his hand from his sword's hilt. I agreed with what he said. Based on our conversation from earlier, Donut could even help us with what we needed. Adolphe? Donut knew we had no chance of breaking in. Despite being a reliver himself, he became friends with a young girl who was trying to live and die as a normal human being. If we can't lie, then maybe we should tell him everything.
奇遇だな。俺もちょうどそう思っていた。
What a coincidence. I was thinking the same thing. I trust him. We wanted to entrust our hopes to him. We wanted to find a way to get rid of Death's curse, so that people could live full lives. In order to do that, we needed to somehow find a way into the castle to gather clues to lead the way. We omitted Ankou's existence from our explanation, since his unscientific nature would likely result in the guards arresting us. I think we're crazy. Donut listened thoughtfully to our reasoning, as he munched on some cookies he had next to him.
いいですよ。別に協力しても。
Sure, why not? I can help you. I knew we could count on him.
は？
He responded so casually that we couldn't believe our ears for a second. Are you really sure?
いや、勘違いしてる人が多いんですが、もともとこの研究所って呪いの正体を暴くためにシアンさんが設立したものなんです。
Well, a lot of people misunderstand us here. Originally, the Institute was established by science to uncover the truth behind the curse.
けど手がかり一つつかめないものですから、いつの間にか研究内容は呪いを暴くから耐えるに変わってしまって。
But we couldn't find anything, so we started shifting our efforts from understanding the curse to surviving it. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I mean, if you're at a dead end of something, you're gonna try to find an alternate solution. Their solution was creating relivers, so people could live longer lives. By surviving? Do you mean you're creating stronger relivers? Donut nodded in response.
他にも結構呪いを解こうとする人たちはいたんですよ。
You know, we're not the only ones to ever try to lift the curse.
初代教祖さんが呪いの解明のために設立したエクソシスト教団も彼女が亡くなってから反リライバーに傾倒してしま
Freaking
ったし。
Capuchin. The Society of Exorcists was also established for the same reason. But after the founder's death, they became an anti-reliver cult.
あとは数十年前にいた女王様が呪いの解明に尽力していたとか聞きましたけど、すでに亡くなっているとか。
I also heard that the queen was dedicated to fighting the curse decades ago. But she's already passed away. Okay, the queen must be the lady whose voice or who we've heard about in the little the little lore segments. Everyone who had tried to face death had nothing to show for it. The exception was the Institutes, whose research efforts branched off from its initial mission.
まあ要するに呪いに屈しつつあるんです。僕たちも国民も今の王家も。
Long story short, we're failing miserably against the curse. That applies to us, the people at large, and the royal family.
シアンさんはまだ戦う意志があるかもですが、たった一人ではどうにも。
Cian's still willing to fight it, but there's only so much he can do by himself. Donna gave a shrug.
本来の目的のことを考えると、皆さんに協力するのは研究者として何もおかしいことじゃないんです。
So I don't see anything wrong with helping you, considering it was our original mission as researchers.
だとしても即決しすぎだ。お前にも立場ってもんがあるだろ
う。It still seems like a quick decision. Aren't you concerned about your position here? He's right. If someone finds out you're helping us, who knows what kind of punishment you would...
お気遣いどうもです。でも、本当に呪いが解けるのなら、どんな処分もどんとこいですよ。
No worries at all. If the curse can be lifted, I'm willing to accept any punishment.
とはいえ僕も、お二人のお手伝いをするだけで、呪いが打破できるとは思ってません。
That's sad. I don't think you'll be able to get rid of the curse, even with my help.
そんな簡単な問題なら、シアンさんがとっくに解決しているはずですから。
If it were that simple, Cian would have figured it out ages ago. But it actually is that simple. It's the ground. The ground. And the flowers. It's actually much more simple than you think. Although the solution for it isn't simple. But figuring what it actually is simple. We still need a solution. That preferably doesn't end with us dead. You know? At least that would be ideal. Then, why are you gonna help us?
純粋なる知的好奇心ですかね。ずーっとメモリーの研究ばかりで、呪いに関してはノータッチでしたから。
Call it pure intellectual curiosity. I've been researching memory all this time, and haven't even touched the curse.
それと、ナディアと出会ったせいか、ちょっと呪いに対する価値観が変わってしまって。
Besides, I've been seeing the curse in a new light ever since I met Nadia.
少しでも状況がいい方向に動くなら協力します。その代わり今後も依頼抜きでナディアと仲良くしてあげてほしいです。
So I'll help you, even if it means things can improve. In return, I ask that you stay friends with Nadia even without a work order. Of course. It was a lot of fun chatting with her today. I love his little friendship with Nadia. It's so cute. If it wasn't creepy because of the age difference, I would ship them. Once the curse is gone, I'd love to become real friends with her.
素敵な目標ですね。で、確かお城の書庫へと入りたいんでしたっけ？
That's a great idea. So you guys want to have access to castle archives, right?
ああ、まずはそこで呪いの歴史についてたどりたい。
Yeah. We want to see if there's anything there about the history of the curse. Or the country. Because if you can figure out the origin of the country, you might be able to figure out the curse. Just saying. I am genuinely curious about that. Like if the soil was toxic, or poisoned or whatever, thus making the flowers toxic, and emitting like an air of poison that lowers people's lifespans, then like maybe the book has something about like why they originally settled here, how they got here, what made them closed off from the rest of the world. Donut quickly waved his hand over the screen in response. I had no idea what he was doing, but it looked like he was using the screen as some kind of schedule planner. Cool.
では僕が侵入する方法を考えておきますので、
I think
そうです
Tuesday will
ね。
work.
2日後を目安にそちらでも準備をしておいてください。
I'll think of a way to get you up there. So let's see. Why don't we meet up again 2 days from now?
わかった。協力感謝する。
Got it. We appreciate the help.
だが、万が一にも何かあった時は、迷わず俺たちを切り捨てろよ。
But if something goes wrong, just go ahead and say you don't know us.
わかりました。でも僕のことよりも自分のことを心配した方がいいのでは？
Got it. I appreciate your concern, but I think you should worry more about yourselves.
見たところアドルフさんもかなり寿命が近いようですし。
From the looks of it, your life should be ending soon.
大事な妹さんを置いていく前に呪いが解けたらいいですね。
I hope you can somehow break your curse before you leave your little sister behind. I hope so too.
そうだな。
Yeah. After Donut said he would assist us, we both headed back to Adolphe's house. Are you sure about this, Adolphe? Whenever we go to this place, I'm always afraid the next destination is going to be the damn alleyway. And you all know what happens in the alleyway. I still couldn't imagine that we were going to be sneaking into the large castle 2 days from now. Still, I'm just being selfish in wanting to lift the curse. It would probably be better if you stayed home. I didn't want to drag Adolphe into my mess, but he looked me straight in the eye.
ここまで来たらとことん付き合う。お前の望みは俺の望みでもあるからな。
We've come this far, so I'll stay with you until the end. Your wish is my wish too, you know? We stopped near a waterway, reflecting the stars, and Adolphe looked at me with clear eyes.
だが、今さら遅すぎるな。俺はもっと早く、お前と共にこの願いを抱くべきだった。
I admit, I acted too late. I should have helped grant this wish for you sooner.
でははっきり言わせ
I
て
love
も
the
ら
way
お
his
う。
hair flows here.
彼女が人々の死を招くことに絶望していると知っていたくせに。
Very well. I will make this simple. You understand the despair she feels for causing misfortune and death.
守るだけの騎士役で満足し、現状を変えようともしない役立たずの男が。
Yet you're content with playing the role of the knights, doing nothing to change the status quo.
彼女の守護者を気取るとは肩払いたい。
A useless man disguised as a protector.
アンクーにそう言われた時、心底腹が立つと同時に、
I was mad as hell when Ankou said that to me. But at the same time,
その全てが正論だと気づいて、自分自身を殴ってやりたい衝動に駆られた。
I wanted to punch myself when I realized that everything he said was true.
本当にお前のことを思うなら、お前が死神じゃない証拠を探し、徹底的に否定してやればよかったんだ。
If I really cared about you, I should have done more to defend you, to prove your innocence against unfair accusations. And also to, I don't know, maybe like extend your life? But you always protected me, Adolphe.
しただけだ。それ以外のことは何もしてない。
That's just it. I didn't do anything beyond that.
お前は死神じゃない。俺の妹だと。
I mean, that's not a bad thing. I saw you as my sister and not death.
そんな綺麗事を口にするだけで、お前につきまとう不幸そのものを振り払おうとしなかった。
I thought it would be enough to say that. And I didn't take any real action to address the source of your misery. Okay, that's true. But I appreciate the first parts. There's only so many people who, don't see us as death.
そうだ。きっとお前のせいだ。
That's right. I bet it's all your fault.
本来なら俺は今ここで死ぬはずだったんだ。
What's happening? I was supposed to die here and now.
なのにお前のような死神が現れたから俺の運命が狂ったんだ。
Then death appeared. You're the one who messed up my fate.
かつて他でもない俺自身がお前を死神と罵ったくせにな。
I must have forgotten that part. Pathetic, considering I was the very person who denounced you and called you death.
白々しいにも程がある。
I really am a piece of work. Adolphe chuckled scornfully. That only happened once. You weren't your usual self then either.
どんな理由があろうとお前を非人間扱いした罪が消えてなくなることはない。
Regardless, it doesn't negate the fact that I'm guilty for dehumanizing you like that. I could see the pain in Adolphe's expression. For some reason, it didn't make me sad, but was trying to protect me a way for you to atone for that day? Or is it just because you're older than me? I felt a little angry.
それは
What? No, right? Adolphe, you're not the type to treat people nicely for no reason. In order to stop Adolphe from blaming himself, I took his right hand and held it. Let's see. Where should I start? If I really wanted to change the situation I was in, then I should have been the one to take action. But I made the choice to do nothing. All I did was act like a victim. You didn't do anything wrong, Adolphe. On the contrary, you're the very reason I want to live.
希望
So you better fucking survive, okay? The reason? Yes. He is. I like. Yes, Adolphe. You know that I have a tendency to think of the worst, to feel powerless to do anything. He really is gorgeous, though. Yeah, you're right. But there's one thing I'm confident about. Oh, I get it. Just like when we were little. I held his hand with both of mine, noticing how much it had grown. It's that you always cared for me from the bottom of your heart. I had hated myself nearly all my life. So I knew this wasn't my own ego telling me about lies, about Adolphe's feelings. I could feel his hand shaking. You're strong and kind, and you saw me as a precious member of your family. That makes me happier than anything. I've thought about killing myself so many times, but I could never do it because I didn't want to sadden your mother. You're the very person who kept me here in this world until the nights when I finally decided to end my life in the Lycris field. So please, don't say anything bad about the brother I'm so proud of. Don't treat yourself like this. I somehow mustered the strength to express my honest feelings about my embarrassments. Through my embarrassments.
やめろ
Accept our
違う
compliments! Accept our love, damn it! Stop, you're wrong.
お前にそんなことを言われる資格はない
I don't deserve for you to say that to me. He looked at me with a pain in his eyes. Adolphe? Adolphe slowly removed his hand from mine and took a step back.
セレス俺は
So as I.
出会った時からずっとお前をひどい嘘で騙し続けてる
Okay. You're either immortal or I don't know, that's my guess. Like he doesn't age. Because he's not really worried about dying, so he's oddly, like, calm about it. I've been lying to you all these years, ever since we met.
お前を救おうとしなかったのはきっとその嘘を隠し通すための自己保身が働いてたからで
The only reason I didn't try to save you was that I was working to hide the truth from you for my own sake. Hiding the truth for your own sake? Adolph's eyes shook with anxiety.
お前は俺の命を守るために呪いに挑むとそう言っていたな。
He's like, I am the curse! No, you're not. You said you want to fight the curse to keep me alive, right?
だが本当は
But truth is,
お前がそんなことをする必要なんて
you don't need to do
No.
that. Huh? I had no idea why he would say such a thing. Why would I not fight the curse? Adolph's life was gonna end soon. What are you talking about? No, his life is not ending soon. He would be having... Or according to their medical analysis of people who are reaching the age of 23, they all suffer at this stage. He is not suffering at all. That or I think it's because he's actually not from this country. That was my other theory, now I remember. Because he was found near the ocean, or like, at least found by Salome near the ocean. So it's very possible he washed ashore. And is technically not from this country. Therefore not affected by the curse, or not nearly as much. What are you talking about? It can't just be that he decided to become a reliver after all. Adolphe quietly responded by shaking his head at my confused question.
悪い。今はこれ以上話せない。
Then don't mention it! Don't like dangle an important detail or an important piece of information in front of us and then just, you know, not go into it. Sorry, I can't go into detail right now.
だが俺のついている嘘はお前への最低な裏切りも同然だ。
But my deception is no different from betraying you.
教えたらきっとお前を失望させることになる。
I know you'll be disappointed in me as soon as I tell you the truth. He went on to say that he was too scared to see what would happen. Adolphe mumbled with remorse and an expression full of guilt. I've never seen Adolphe in so much pain before. I couldn't even guess what Adolphe had been lying to me about, but if it was making him suffer, I wanted him to tell me everything. He had been supporting me all this time, so now it was my turn to support him. Adolphe, no matter what, he was my dear brother, and nothing would ever change that. Before I could tell him so,
いいか、お前はこんな裏切り者のことなんて構わず。
listen carefully. I don't want you to care about a liar like me.
あくまで自分自身の幸福のために呪いを解くことを考えろ。
Just focus your thoughts on getting rid of the curse for your own happiness.
俺はお前が23の時を超え普通の女として幸せになる姿を見れればそれで
If I can see you live a happy life beyond 23, that's all that matters. So you're proving my theory even more. Okay. Because you don't plan on becoming a reliver. But you're also apparently reaching the age of 23 soon. Therefore, you would die. So how would you be alive? When we turn 23. You wouldn't. See, I'm going with the from another country thing. That seems valid. It would check out. But I don't see how that's betrayal. With that, Adolphe turned his back to me and began walking. Still sensing his sadness, I followed a few steps behind him. I wanted to call out his name again, but I just couldn't. I had known him long enough to understand that he didn't want to be spoken to right now, even if he didn't say so in words. Why did he tell me all this? I was finally able to tell him that I wanted to be by his side. Maybe he didn't understand how I felt. No, that couldn't be it. I was sure Adolphe understood my feelings well enough. I then came to the realization that no matter what my feelings were, he decided he wasn't needed in my life. It's sad. Later. While waiting for Donut to contact us, we began preparing for what we would do once we got into the castle. Adolphe adjusted his corp's schedule to ensure his shifts wouldn't overlap with mission. I went to see Mother to let her know I was fine, hoping that would keep her from making any surprise visits to Adolphe's house. Adolphe also taught me some basic self-defense, and went over an escape plan in case things went wrong. The 2 days passed in the blink of an eye. We were in the laboratory with Donuts and no one else, and were being told to plan on getting inside the castle. The plan he proposed to us was surprisingly simple.
「ちょうど今夜、僕は不在のシアンさんに代わり、王族の皆さんに呼び出されてます。
Since Science's not around, the royal family has asked me to see them tonight.
なのでお二人には僕の部下を装って堂々と真正面からお城に入ってもらいます。ゲートを抜けるための許可証も僕が用意しましょう。
How convenient. So you two will act as my subordinates, and enter the castle with me. I'll get the passes ready for you to pass the checkpoints.
ただし王族との謁見は僕だけに限られるでしょうから、そこで別れ別行動を取りましょう。
But since I'm the only one authorized to see the royal family, we'll have to part ways there, and the rest is up to you.
万が一途中で誰かに見つかっても、新人だから道に迷ったってギリギリごまかせるかもしれませんからね。
If someone happens to find you wandering around the castle, tell them that you're new hires, and that should do the trick. The extravagant castle where the royal family lived was connected to the Institute. It was where an ancient bloodline lived alongside the technology of the future. The corridor connecting the two structures was heavily guarded with both the Institute guards and the Royal Guard. The impossible break-in was accomplished with a couple of lab coats and a pair of passes from Donuts. We finally took a step inside the castle when...
これはダハト殿。こんな夜分にお呼び立てしたというのに快く応じてくださるとは。
Well, well, if it isn't Donuts. How kind of you to accept my invitation to meet me so late.
所長でありながら
That's kind of
この
sus.
緊急時に無責任にも研究所を開ける思案とは大違いだ。
So different from the Director Cyan, who is irresponsible enough to leave the Institute unattended.
はあ、どうも。
Thanks. I mean, what else do you say? A man wearing lavish clothes appeared to greet Donuts at the entrance.
ところで例の話について考えてはいただけただろうか。あなたにとっても悪い話ではないと思うのだが。
Now then, about what we discussed. Have you considered it further? I believe it's in your best interest.
それはまたおいおいで。こんな場所でおしゃべりする内容じゃありませんし。
Maybe we can discuss it later. It's not something we should be chatting about out in the open. The man who appeared to be a member of the royal family apparently didn't notice us since he was busy praising Donuts. Witnessing these obvious attempts at flattery made Adolphe's eyes grow colder by the seconds. Donuts and the man continued speaking, as we quietly followed behind until... We arrived at a large passage, leading to the audience room. Both corridors, left and right, paused at dimly lit corners. The path beyond them was uncertain. Just then, Donut straightened out his lab coat with slightly exaggerated motions. He's telling us to get a move on. Yeah. He was telling us to go. He pointed his thumb to the right as he fixed his collar. The two of us looked at each other, then quietly backed away toward the right corridor so he knew that we understood. After making sure the coast was clear, we proceeded quietly down the corridor.
噂には聞いていたが、
Real good in lab
王
coat.
族があそこまで情けないとはな。
Oh yeah, definitely pathetic. My stomach's crumbling. I've heard rumors, but I never know the royal family was so pathetic. I had to agree with Adolphe's criticism.
まったくだ。
How?
同じ王族でもかの女王とは大違いだね。
I thought we left you at home. Indeed. Hard to believe that they could be unlike the queen.
仮に呪いが解けたとして国の舵取りたる王族があれではアルペシェールの未来は絶望的だ。
Even if the curse is lifted, Bachel's future is doomed if the royal family remains at the helm. Just massacre them all. It's not a good solution, but I mean, hey, they're doing nothing. Isn't that a little harsh? Wait. Ankou? When did you... I somehow kept myself from shouting when he appeared to my left with a smile.
お前、今回も家で待っているんじゃなかったのか。
Hey, I thought you were gonna stay home as usual.
欲望と思惑あふれる福間殿にか弱い姫君を一人送るはずがないだろう。
I would never leave my dear princess defenseless in a castle full of greed and evil. A vein appeared in Adolphe's temple at the insinuation that he was of no use. glared at Ankou in the same manner I had grown accustomed to. That night, Adolphe looked so serious when he told me he was lying to me, and we walked the rest of the way in silence. I spent the whole night wondering what I should do or say, how I should approach him, but the next day he simply said good morning, as usual, with a hint of a smile. It felt as though he was trying to tell me to forget about what happened that night. Since I wasn't sure what to say, I decided to interact with him in the same way as always. I was glad things were fine between us, but I also felt a little sad that he didn't tell me his secrets he had been keeping. As I thought about the many things that had happened, we finally neared the library. We kept conversation to a minimum, navigating the layout with a map that Donna drew for us. In crayon. We found a member of the Royal Guard in front of the entrance, with a weapon in hand. That must be it. The soldier was there to protect whatever was inside. But judging by his bored yawn, it seemed intruders were rare. As planned, I hid in the shadows behind one of the large pillars. Now! I tossed a small rock that I picked up outside, in the middle of the hall.
なんだ
Hearing the small sound, the soldier came toward us to investigate. I'm gonna knock him out. He bent down to pick up the small stone that caused the sound. In the next moment, two shadows came down upon the soldier. Adolphe and Ankou quickly restrained him and dragged him behind a pillar. Ankou pinned the man down, while Adolphe choked him until he fell unconscious. Adolphe and Ankou then bound and gagged the soldier before tossing him into another room. The two returned, and in Adolphe's hand was a small key to open the door to the archives.
待たせたな。
Sorry for the wait.
これで心置きなく書庫の中を調べることができるはずだ。
Now we should be able to search, without any interference. I see. Thank you. Their perfect cooperation while working together was a little scary. Ooh, new scene. I haven't seen this place before. Adolphe unlocked the old door, and we all pushed it open. The moment we stepped inside, we were greeted by the unique smell of old books and papers. So, these are the royal family archives. Look at all these books. Perhaps feeling burdened by the lab coat, Adolphe took his off before looking around the room, and I did the same.
これは呪いの情報を探すにも苦労しそうだ。
It'll be quite a chore to find information specific to the curse.
時間がない。手分けして探すぞ。俺とアンクーは歴史書を探る。お前は歴代の王族の手記を当たってくれ。
Organized to some degree, right? They don't just throw books wherever, I would hope. We don't have time, so let's split up. Ankou and I will look for the history books, so you look for the royal family diaries. Right, got it. With that, we each began searching through the collection of books. The diaries contained details about the extravagant lives of the royal family. I was left speechless just reading them. They felt envy and hatred towards Cyan, who was revered by the people and wielded substantial power throughout Apachel. They expressed hatred toward the Neoch family for protecting the Lycoris, and detailed schemes they plotted against them. The Neoch family. I've never heard of them before. But isn't Yvesa's family guarding the Lycorises? In Yvesa's suit, he did mention his full, family name. I forget what it was. But it might have been Neoch. The diaries blamed the family guarding misfortune for stealing the land that should belong to the royals. Science saved this country, and Yvesa's family grew Lycorises to protect this country from the curse, and for them to be so despised. I slowly closed the diary I was reading, after feeling sickened by detailed information about their planned assassinations.
姫君、調子はいかがかな？
Dear Princess, how are things with you? He's like the Cheshire cat, just appearing out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, he poked my cheek, making me almost drop the diary. I glanced over and saw Ankou standing so close to me that his shoulder almost touched mine. Please, you have to stop appearing next to me so silently.
すまないね。君の愛らしい横顔を見ていたらつい。
I apologize. I simply could not resist after seeing your cute face.
だが、私に抗議する元気が残っているようで安心したよ。
I must say, I'm relieved to know you still have enough spirit to reprimand me. Huh?
数日前からやや気落ちしているように見えた。あの男と何かあったのかい？
You seem to be feeling down the past couple of days. Did something happen between you and him, perhaps? My heart suddenly jumped. He had to be talking about Adolphe, who is currently searching through another bookshelf. Ankou, did you read my mind with your powers? No.
読み取らずともわかるさ。君は考えていることがそのまま顔に出やすい。
Yeah, apparently we read like a book. We belong here. No powers are needed to read you. After all, what you think and feel can be easily read through expressions.
それで何があったんだい？
So what
私
happened?
でよければ話を聞くよ。
I am more than happy to listen. Ooh, we get a choice now. Say bye. I think I'll tell him. I don't know if that's the right option, but I tell him, I guess. His voice. It sounded nothing like when we first met. but was instead very gentle and caring, so I decided to tell him what happened. Well, as I continued flipping through the diaries, I confided in him what Adolphe told me 2 nights ago. After hearing me out, Ankou shrugged in response.
嘘か。やれやれ。
Lie, you say? My oh my.
打ち明ける度胸がないのならいっそ何も言わずに隠し通せばいいもの。
Exactly! That's what I said. Why say something if you're not gonna just actually tell us? If he does not have the courage to tell you the truth, he should have kept silent.
心苦しくなってついこぼしてしまった。といったところかな。
He might have felt so suffocated that it came out inadvertently. I shook my head so that he wouldn't blame Adolphe. It's not that I'm upset that he's keeping a secret from me. It's just that I'm finding out that I really didn't know Adolphe like I thought I did.
わからない？
Don't know. I took a breath and continued. Adolphe sometimes says things in a way that implies he's not part of my life. Live, be happy. Those words should bring me joy. But something was amiss. I want to live with you. I want to be happy with you. Why didn't he ever add himself into the picture? He keeps telling me that I'm family, but then he speaks like some sort of outsider. It's as though he's acting like we live in a different world. Maybe he is a time traveler. It's an awful feeling.
部外者か。言えて妙だね。さすがにそのあたりはわきまえているというべきか。
An outsider. I would say that's aptly put. He has chosen a very sensible approach. He knows something we don't. I want answers. Huh?
いや、こちらの話だ。すまないが姫君。この件に関して私は何も助言できない。
No, never mind me. I'm sorry, dear princess. I'm unable to offer you any words of advice.
何せあの男自身、君にとってどんな役割でありたいのか、未だに心が定まっていないようだからね。
The reason is because he's still not entirely sure what role he wants to play in your life.
故に願望と自制の板挟みで半端な態度をとってしまうのだろうさ。
His desire and sense of self-control forced him to speak to you in such a way. To me, Adolphe was a real, genuine brother who didn't need to be connected to me by blood. The fact that Adolphe always referred to me as his sister was what kept me alive all these years. That was the kind of relationship I had assumed would continue forever. But did Adolphe see things differently? It was sad to consider that a possibility. But it did explain why he sometimes kept his distance from me.
君はあの男を異性として好いているのかい？
Do you like him as a person of the opposite sex? Are we at a girls' slumber party? I wasn't sure how to respond to his straightforward question. opposite sex? Did I feel that precious, fleeting emotion that would be lost when becoming a reliver? Did Adolphe feel that emotion toward me? No. Was that how I felt about Adolphe? I placed my hand on my chest and thought deeply to tap into my emotions. But all I could feel was my anxious heartbeat. My heart wasn't singing a tune of sweet poetic love like one would expect. I know that Adolphe is much more than a foster brother to me. But I'm not sure if it's love. It might have to do with seeing him as family for such a long time. But regardless of our relationship, Adolphe is definitely someone special to me.
特別
Special. The people of this country all die when they reach 23. Even if they opt to revive as relivers, they still lose the precious emotions that they have nurtured till then. It's considered normal in this country, but I finally realized how scary it was when I applied that concept to Adolphe. I knew very well how twisted our lifespans in this country were, but I blindly believed that the futures of those dear to me would continue forever without any threat of death. I saw them as if they were part of a story. So in that sense, maybe I had been subconsciously hoping that he was special. Maybe I'm subconsciously hoping he's special, thinking he's like a time traveler or not from the country. That night, when Adolphe told me he had no intention of becoming a reliver, imagining a future where he feels the pain of the curse's symptoms made my heart feel like it was being torn apart. I was sure the feeling that struck me then was despair. I know this is a horrible thing to say, but the thought of him suffering feels worse than the thought of anyone else suffering. It feels so much worse. Back then, I had raised my voice without any concern for the sins I had committed. I shouted that I didn't want him to leave me. I don't know whether this feeling is familiar love or romantic love, but I do know Adolphe is someone special. Someone I don't want to see leave me behind. That much I know for sure.
そうか
I see.
あの男が相手というのは気に食わないがそれが君の絶望に立ち向かう糧となるならその思いを大事にするといい
I do not like the idea of that man as your partner. But if it helps you fight despair, you should cherish those feelings. I will. Thank you very much, Ankou. I feel much better now that I talked about it. I have no clue how Adolphe sees me, or how he feels about me, but I'll do my best so he can understand that he's someone special in my life. Although I had thanked him for his help, Ankou suddenly looked displeased.
私個人としてはあんな男よりも君の守護者としてふさわしい男が他にいると思うのだが
Personally speaking, I believe there is another who is better suited to being your guardian. Is it you? I smiled, expecting to see him nod in response like he usually did, but
いや そんな名誉を賜る資格、私はとうの昔に失っている。
No. I have long lost the right to receive such gracious honor. Is it Yves? It's probably Yves. Because he wasn't very happy inside when we decided we liked Cyan in his route. And he didn't really... Actually, no, he didn't like Lucas either. You know, because Lucas is Burrow, the killer. He wasn't very approving of that one. So it's gotta be Yves. I mean, he doesn't really have any connection to Mathis, so that's why I'm not putting him there in the equation, but like... I highly doubt it would be.
死の番人などと名乗っているが。
I call myself the Watchman of Death, and...
私はあの男の言う通り、肝心な時に役に立たない男だからね。
As that man has said, I've done nothing but watch on uselessly. His crimson eyes reflected my shock. He looked somewhat forlorn as he whispered. I was worried about Ankou's reaction earlier, but I decided to continue reading the diaries. A few minutes later, we were at a loss, having found no useful information despite the shelves of books around us.
分かってはいたが、量が多すぎてキリがないな。
I knew what we were getting into, but this is endless.
ダハトとの合流を考えると、出直しも検討すべきかもしれねえな。
We need to rejoin Donut again, so maybe we should think about coming here again. That's not gonna be easy.
姫君、君も少し休憩すべきだ。細かい文字ばかりを見ていたせいで、瞳が傷んできただろ。
Dear Princess, you should take a break. All of those small words must be causing strain to your eyes. No, I'm still okay. I just finished checking this shelf, so next I'll... Someone's coming in. Just as I moved a bit deeper into the room, to look at another bookshelf. Ah! What's this? Suddenly in front of me was a breathtaking emblem of light. Surprised, I instinctively jumped back and... A few seconds later, the floor in front of me split open to reveal a passage underground. That was surprising. Are these hidden stairs?
みてえだな。なんでお前が通りかかった途端に開いたんだ？
Seems like it. But why did it only open up when you got here? Like I said in last stream, I have a theory that we are related to the previous queen. That queen who has died, so technically I think we might actually be have royal blood. And that's why that thing reacted to us. It makes sense. But it could be something else. And once again, this music reminds me of X-Notes. sounds like it. Yeah, but why did it only open me that way? I don't know. Maybe it was an accident? I didn't even touch the light that appeared just now. Ankou looked down the stairwell, leading underground.
ふむ、いかにも何かあるといった空気だ。
Something obviously lies down there.
この場で優雅に読書を続けたところで得られるものはおそらくなし。思い
There's
切っ
likely nothing to be gained
て下へ
here.
と降りてみるかい？
Perhaps we should take our chances and venture downstairs. Adolphe and I both nodded quietly at Uncle's suggestion. Into the dark, creepy tunnel. Creepy tunnel. I stuck a candle that I brought with me on a candlestick holder and lit it to help us down the stairs. We made our way down into the depths of the darkness with the utmost care until we finally arrived at a rusty door. Beyond it was an abandoned room in ruins. What is this place?
さっきまでいた書庫と比べるとひどいありさまだね。
Compared to the archives, this room has been horribly maintained. Ankou leisurely picked up one of the books from the floor.
これは。どうやら私たちはとんでもない宝の山を見つけてしまったようだ。
Ooh. That makes me excited. Well, now it seems we have stumbled upon a mountain of treasure.
何が書いてある？
What does it say? I moved the candlestick closer to shed light on the words. It's an age list with the effects of the curse of death.
こっちの本にも似たようなことが書いてある。協力者としてシアン・ブロフィワーズの名前も載ってるな。
There's something similar in this book too. It even credits Cyan Burfies as a supporter.
どうやらここは呪いの正体を調査するための個人的な研究室のようだ。
It seemed this place was a personal laboratory used to investigate truth behind the curse. What luck! The information we have been searching for seemed to be in this very room. But I wonder why the room was kept hidden like this. Whoever was researching the curse could have worked with the institutes. As that thought came to mind, I noticed a single book left alone on top of a broken table. It must have been used often, as it was showing more wear and tear compared to the other books. It was so worn that I thought it might fall apart if I slipped out of my hands. I looked carefully to see that the author of the diary had their name written inside. Christine Weatherpaw? The name Weatherpaw meant that this person was a member of the royal family. I had never heard of her name before. I carefully turned the worn page. Hatred. Hate. I hate death, who cursed this land and continues to send the souls of our people into Hades. But the true sinners who should be hated, are the ones who turn their back on the people for their own good. using the curse and the god fighting it to flatten their bellies. The true sinners are the Apachel royal family. I could have told you that. One day, I will deliver justice to those evildoers who are connected to me only by blood. I felt her powerful emotions from the fading words. Hearing me gasp, Adolphe and Ankou peeked into the diary from both sides. My name is Christine Wevepois. When my brother, the previous king, passed away, I succeeded the throne at 18, becoming the reigning queen of Apachel. I am also a woman who detests the curse to death more than anyone in the country. A nation built by its people. A king should not subject them. A king must appreciate their labor and show his gratitude for being their guardian. I wed my husband when I was 19, and governing according to my cousin's teachings. The royal family only thought of themselves and sought to fulfill their greed, but he was different. New scene 2. The curse of death led people to die at the age of 23. The only way to escape from it is through reliver technology, the miracle created by the god Cyan Burfis. All hail our God and Savior! His technology was vastly innovative and already established when I succeeded the throne, but my brother was already abusing reliver technology for his own gain, along with the rest of my family. They offered support to the institutes so that they could wield control over our people's lives. They oppressed everyone apart from the researchers into doing their bidding. They threatened to take away their reliver rights. They did every detestable thing imaginable, provided it was just short of offending Cyan Burfis. They exacted punitive tax rates and demanded extortive fees to becoming relivers under the guise of supporting the institutes. The heavy tax created the slums, and despite witnessing the poverty, and hunger, they continued to indulge in luxury. But the worst they have done is unthinkable. They began killing the homeless and those without families so the bodies could be used for research, something Cyan did not desire. In the end, those murders were in vain, as Cyan scoffed at the meaningless sacrifices laid at his feet, not wanting any part of it. I'm not sure if that's true, because he did admit to using, back in the day, using human sacrifices. Or maybe that was just part of his trying to scare us tactic. Three years after taking the throne, I took action out of concern for the situation. I rewrote the laws related to relivers and gave jobs to the impoverished, who were in danger of having no future apart from death. We can't fully depend on this technology. As long as the reliver manufacturing process is limited, there will always be lives left behind. Therefore, in order to save the people, it is the royal family's duty to take immediate action to investigate and lift the curse of death. I issued a statement to my own family. Those who had become disgusted with the royal family's greed came to my side, as well as those who showed loyalty to the crown. But apart from my husband, none in the family supported my ideals. In fact, they began their efforts to stop me from uncovering the truth behind the curse. Cyan was left to do his research freely. So why did they not grant me the same courtesy? Because we're a woman. Meh. Sensing something ominous, I conducted a secret investigation and discovered the books and diaries hidden in this chamber. Hundreds of years ago, when this country was born, before contact was severed with the outside world, we were cursed by death when a great war occurred that engulfed the entire world. Huh? Okay. Got some apocalypse shit going on here. When I brought to light what I had discovered, my family, of my own blood, sent assassins to see to my death. Fortunately, I was able to escape with only a scar on my face, which disappeared when I became a reliver to buy time for the research. Is the royal family trying to stop me because they already know the source of the curse? As these doubts lingered in my mind, they continued to pursue me still. I plan on making my escape through the underground passage to meet my supporter at the Lycris field, but my odds of survival are 50-50. I will do what I can to escape, but if they succeed in killing me, they will likely also erase my backup at the institutes, dooming me to a death which I can never again relive. I will accept that heaven has forsaken me, and admit defeat. My only regret is losing my precious jewel, born to me, and my husband when I was 20, when my husband was still alive. Blank, blank, blank. My precious son. Hold up. Any chance this is Salome? Because I did have a theory that she's actually part of the royal family and ran away because she didn't like how they were doing things. And she did say that she lost a son. Oops, something fell. My uncle and his daughter will likely assassinate him to clear the way for the throne they have desired for so long. Please, I hope that you will survive. The diary ended with the mother wishing for her son's life to be spared. Or it could be donuts. The royal family might be involved in the curse of death. A chill ran down my spine, as the possibility could bring ruin to the entire country. Christine Weprever. I've never heard of her. Have either of you? He probably has.
いや、俺も初めて聞いた。
No, I've never heard that name before.
同じくと言いたいところだが、当時噂程度ならば聞いていた。
I do not know her personally, though I have heard rumors.
噂には聞いていたが、王族がそこまで情けないとはな。
I've heard rumors, but I never knew the royal family was so pathetic.
まったくだ。同じ王族でもかの女王とは大違いだね。
Indeed. Hard to believe they could be so unlike the queen.
ほら、私がそれとなく告げただろ。王族の中で珍しく全盛を敷く女王がいたと。
Do you remember when I mentioned the queen? She had a remarkably good soul despite the family she was born into.
確かリライバーに関する法律、誓約書などのルールを定めたのも彼女ではなかったかな。
It appears she was the one who wrote the laws and rules for relivers, such as the pledge to be signed.
そういえばダードもこの女王らしい存在についてほのめかしていたな。
Come to think of it, Donut says something about the Queen too. Why haven't we heard about someone as important as the Queen? She wasn't in any of our lessons because her history has been blocked because the current royal family doesn't want to acknowledge her existence. Not
存
uncommon.
在自体は知られていたのだろうさ。
She did exist, that is for certain.
だが即位した期間が短い上、時代の王が彼女の功績を台無しにしたことで印象が薄くなったのだろう。
But her reign was short, and all the good she did was undone by the next king, so her legacy has fallen into obscurity. Wanting to know more about this queen, I opened a history book next to me. Oh, there we go. Christine, found it. Wasn't Christine the name of the girl in the Phantom of the Opera? Christine! Christine! She withdrew from the public eye after a horrible wound to her face, and no portraits of her were left behind. It also says she fell ill from a plague that struck during her later years, and passed away with her son, the heir apparent.
実際のところは手記通り呪いの解明に反対していた連中に親子ともども暗殺されたんだろうな。
But from the sound of things, I'm guessing they were killed by those who were against uncovering the truth behind the curse. That's horrible. I couldn't bring myself to say much more. I was only trying my best to find a way to get rid of the curse, so that someone dear to me could live a normal life. But in doing so, I had stepped onto a path with an unfathomable darkness ahead. The curse of death, or human evil. Which was really to blame for the suffering of this country?